In a world full of noise and endless distractions, where the city never sleeps and voices compete to be heard, one podcast dares to cut through the chaos. Welcome to the Oracle 19 podcast, where truth meets thought and bold ideas spark conversations that shape our urban world.
Welcome to a brand new podcast. And as always, this is the Oracle 19. And my name is Mr. Greatness. For any business inquiries, if you want to put your business, as I usually say weekly, but for my newer listeners, if you want to put your business, if you have a business, if you want to expand online, you can email us at evolutionoflondon@gmail.com. Same email if you want to make a donation, a free will offering to us. That's via PayPal, evolutionoflondon@gmail.com. For general inquiries, the Oracle 19 at the oracle19radio.com. We have different links to other affiliates, www.linktree.com/Evolution of London. You will see different other sites, other affiliates that we promote, so you can check us out there. We have websites which you can shop online, over 10,000 products. evolutionoflondon.com, evolutionoflondon.org, ORG, evolutionoflondon.store, STORE, for custom clothes, accessories, clothes, cologne, perfume, and much more. Check out all three websites and it's shipped directly to you. We have a Patreon channel, which we have videos that's not posted on YouTube, digital artwork, and we do consulting services as well. www.patreon.com/Evolution of London. Check out the company Royalty 9 International. They make homemade candles, 100% soy wax, 12-ounce jars, from scented to unscented. Now the scented candles are from frankincense, myrrh, jasmine, eucalyptus, rose, just to name a few. And if you want to place an order for these luxury candles, email the company at royalty9international@gmail.com. Again, that's royalty9international@gmail.com. And you'll find them on TikTok and Instagram as well. Royalty9 International. Mr. Will, he's been the fitness consultant for over 15 years. So if you want to book a consultation, you can email him at healthfitnessconsultant1@gmail.com. That's healthfitnessconsultant1@gmail.com. Music. Cheap Limousine channel on YouTube. You have a whole wide range of different beats. So once you go to his YouTube channel, like, subscribe, and share to Cheap Limousine channel on YouTube. And Continue to Train on YouTube is the Greatness 19 channel. That's our educational channel to open up your third eye. So subscribe to the Greatness 19 channel. There's a lot of great content, over 1,200 shows, as well as Mr. Evolution of London, MR Evolution of London, Health and Wellness channel on YouTube. Now, the Oracle 19 is on all major platforms. We're on iHeartRadio, Google, Apple, Spotify for creators, Amazon Music, just to name a few. Any information I haven't mentioned will be in the description box of the Oracle 19 podcast, the Greatness 19 channel, Mr. Evolution of London. Check out also rumble.com. Just type in the Oracle 19. And finally, www.theoracle19radio.com. That's our internet radio. You'll find content there as well. Today, our topic: do women know how? Well, not women. Let me say that. Let me not get on the women. This is the top of my head, mind you. Do people know how to date anymore? How about that? Because I was going. A lot of times women would get in their feelings. You just focus on the women's, and I really don't. Because if you look at my topics, it's very broad, and I clearly just focus on women. But I was going to do that particularly, but it was an email sent out to me, do women know how to date anymore? But I'm going to make it more broad, more general, people, because I think that's more of an issue in general. People in their dating choices. And I'm not a dating expert. That's why I say people, because I reflect even my choices. A lot of degenerate dating, personally, on my part. So that's why I make it more broad in terms of people. And again, I'm not a dating expert, nor am I claiming to be. I have no desire. I just give my perspective of my experiences from group of friends and family and foe that I have talked to and discussed. And I'm on social media as well, so I hear stories about people and men and women and just what's going on. You could just see it if you really pay attention, especially through social media. Just that alone, not even including the TV and the dating apps. And we as people really don't know how to date we don't know how to date quality anymore. And it's a variety of different reasons. I'm going to get to the men as well as the women. I'm going to be flip-flopping and throughout the show. So just walk with me with this. Now, a lot of times with the men, let's get to the men's right now. We don't know how to date anymore, quality-wise. A lot of times, the older men, we era in the early 2000s or the 90s or 80s or 70s. It could go further back, of course. But a lot of times we jump into relationships. Speaking of the men, we jump into the relationships too early without really getting to know the individual. It's very important. And I mentioned this on different shows, but over the course of years, you have to take yourself, men, like a corporation. You have to have more pride about yourself, more self-worth. First of all, you just can't accept anything. It's like if you're going to a job. The person that's hiring you, they're interviewing you. They're not going to just accept anything from you. You just can't say anything, do anything you want. There's rules, there's regulations, there's standards that you should have as a man. You should know absolutely what you're looking for. And you shouldn't accept anything other than that. That's the bottom line. I had to learn a lot of things. I accepted a lot of bad things when I was younger. But now that I'm a man of a certain age, I'm not accepting just whatever. No, a woman can't come to me just on whatever. If I'm out there in the dating world, I'm not going to just accept just whatever. Mentally, I don't want, even physically. Now I know I'm got to be flexible to a certain degree, but I'm just not accepting anything. What do I mean by this, Mr. Greatness? Just a woman can't come to me and just say, you have to. I just met her. You have to take me shopping. You hear a lot of that from the younger people, younger women saying this. Telling men you have to, that while they meet them. I be watching some of these shows online and you see it on TV, commercials, big propaganda machine, dating sites. You hear it, and just overall throughout the world today, even in regular life, everyday life, women just saying, when you meet them, you have to take them shopping. You have to take them to an expensive restaurant. No, you don't. You don't have to, men. Matter of fact, shouldn't be permissible for you to do that. If she's telling you this, then you can't deal with her because she's selfish. She's not concerned about your pockets or well-being. She just wants to be satisfied on her. Selfish. So it's not about you have to. You don't have to accept nothing from her. You meet a woman, she's saying you have to accept my kids. No, you don't. And men, we need to be more forthwith with these women. And this is why there's a lot of single women out here in the clubs, in life. And they saying, oh, I'm happy. They're not happy. There's maybe exception to the rules, but most of these women is miserable. They're not happy. They're not satisfied within themselves. Now, there's exception to rules and so forth. A lot of these women got mental issues. They bitter. We know this. This is why there's a lot of single women out here, young and old. This is something you need to know, men. You need to know. Because clearly we as men don't know how to pick good women. Because you just pick anything. You just pick any streetwalker out here. And then when you date, you wonder why you're going through all of these problems, because you just picking whatever. You're accepting whatever. And this is a us problem, not a them problem, not a woman problem in this case. This is a us problem because we accept that. And you don't have to. You shouldn't have a woman calling you out your name. You meet a woman and she just call you, a B, a hey B, she greets you like that. I remember a while back a woman she tried me with that, because we built a rapport and she just like, hey B. I'm going to try not to curse on this show. I'm going to try. So I'm just going to give letters and syllables. Let's see how we roll with that. But she just say, hey B, And I had to correct her. Whoa. I said, who are you talking to? No, that is not acceptable. I told her, you dealing with a grown man here. That's not acceptable. If I called you and greet you, hey slut, how you doing, slut, you're gonna feel offended. So just call me by my first name. God. Nah, I'm just playing. Just call me by my first name. Just like how I call you by your first name. Let's keep it respectable. And she didn't like that. She was salty because she couldn't call me that. Seriously? See, this is the respect right here. And men, you cannot deal with a woman like that. Now, she was pretty, but she was disrespectful, so I couldn't deal with her, and on many different fronts. And it's okay. You're on to the next. Or just be by yourself and be a better version of you, because sometimes it's best. Not saying it's the right thing to be by yourself, but it's the safest bet. Not getting any fights and controversies, because a lot of women out here they not trained up to be wives and girlfriends in this day and time. They trained up to be feminists, aka independent, don't need a man. And men, look, if you got a woman here and she just and you give a little background, this is my opinion, but it runs strong. I seen this, I dealt with this, etc. If you got a lot of feminists out here, feminist women out here, young and old. That's another sign that she is not for you, shouldn't be for you. Woman saying if you get married, she want to keep her name. Jackie Smith Johnson. She is your helpmeet, not the other way around. Now this is gonna sound the chauvinist, but I don't care. She belongs to you, not the other way around. She supposed to look up to you. You are the leader. You are the head. Not she is the head. Now, if you got a relationship where she's the head, then you might as well take on her name. So, men, you gotta, right there, that's a sign right there in the conversation that she's not the one. Because she's gonna be like, if you ride a bike, I could ride a bike too. If you go out late, I could go out late too. No, you can't do what men do, lady. That's just what it is. But in this day and time, that's what these women is about. And you know what? You gotta put it in perspective. They're not for you. You can maybe play with them, but even I would say don't play, because you play, you can get yourself caught up in certain situations. Emotions get intertwined. Pregnancy can happen. And you don't want none of that. The best thing for you, especially in this day and time, because these women is like mentally ill, is for you just to leave them alone. Point blank, period. Don't even get yourself even involved. My personal opinion, because that's the safest bet. You always got to take yourself like a corporation. You got to go with the safest bet. It's just not worth it. gotta be very, very careful out here who you deal with. So I would say, no, don't even get involved. Because the percentages are that because she's a feminist or have feminist ways, it's just going to be a lot of pain and suffering as the years go along. And you can't change her. This is who she is. I don't personally, I'm very selective in this day and time, even who I have around me. You know, it just defeats the purpose. My personal opinion. And this have a lot to do in terms of dating. Picking the right person. That's why we, as men, we don't know how to date. Because we pick these type of women. You pick women that is... You see, you gotta go with the percentages. The percentages of the relationship working. Now, if you just want just to have fun, it's really anybody, but I wouldn't even say, don't even get physical with anyone. Physical mean relationship, sexual, of course. Don't even do that because it will lead down a rabbit hole of eventual misery for yourself. Because when you're going to look back, you're going to like, why I even dealt with that woman? You only dealt with her because for the physical gratification. But was it really worth it? Did you gain something out of that? Did it overall just change your life for the better? It just was a physical gratification, that's all. And we just can't be wasting ourselves, our energy. I know it's hypocritical, and we as men, we're going to do what we do. We're going to go with our lower desires, but we really have to fight that. I mean, trust me, I know, because when I look back on, my dating career, 90% was trash. 90% was trash. It's like, why? 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 You find yourself wasting. Yeah, you end up wasting a lot of time, a lot of energy. And it becomes not worth it. It really isn't. Trust me, it's not worth it. So you have to, even your choice, you got to really, I'm going to repeat it over and over, man. You have to take yourself like a corporation. You're going to just waste your sperm, waste your energy on something that really wasn't worth it. It just was the gratification. You're going to get more misery out of it than anything. Dating a woman these days, dating a woman in general is a bill. Anyway, it's a bill. An expensive bill at that. So if you're going to pay for a bill, it might as well be something that's worth it. A good investment. Again, you have to take yourself like a corporation. You go out, you spend money. I'm going to get to that on the clubs, on these women. You're not taking yourself as a corporation. Is that a good investment? Just to lay money to a female just because she's a female? Because she's thirsty? Drink some water. It's not worth it. What are you really... When you spend money, what are you getting out of it? Yes, I get it. It's the physical gratification. But after that, what? You need to develop a higher intellect, men. You got to look at that quality. Quality. Shoot for quality. Trust me. Be better than me. And I say me person. Be better than me. And my generation. Pick better quality. Invest better. Don't just spend because she's a female. Because you deal investment with single mamas is not worth it. The potential of it failing is much higher. First of all, she got bad kids. Most likely. Not all the time. The percentages is low, of course. The percentages, there's always exception to the rules. Yes, this is what I meant to say. But the percentage that these children is unruly or won't respect you is high. It's high. It's high. The only way it works if the children is upper teenagers like 18, 19 and so forth in their 20s and they out the house type of thing. And why would you want to even go there? Because if you a young man and you're dealing like if you like in your 20s and early 30s or mid 30s, like 35 and under, most likely she have a kid, and you dating someone in that range, most likely she have a kid 10 years old and under, or let's say 13 years old and under, and that's going to be a problem. Is that a great investment? You're gonna say, well, Mr. Greatness, I did it, and she was a wonderful. Look, you could drive a car with your feet. That don't mean it's the best thing to do. There's always exception to the rules, but that don't mean it's a good thing for you. Let's not be a dummy. So it's the investment, the percentages. You gotta look at the percentages. What is the percentage of being a great relationship with a single mom with children? What is the percentages of her child or children going to be respectful to you and not say you not my daddy? Or if not, they're going to thank it. They're going to show it. It's just... And then the woman is mentally scarred. Most likely. She's mentally scarred because the baby daddy put her through a lot of mental anguish. And then, oh Lord, if she has more than one baby daddy. There's mental issues. That's just what it is. And if you want to get physical with a mentally ill female, which is most women is mentally ill, then it's going to take away a lot of your energy. And then, of course, she's a bill. You got to spend for her. And then you're going to have to spend for her kids. More bills you taking on. Come on now, let's be real. Let's act like this is not the reality. Somehow, some way, as you get closer to the single mama, you're gonna have to pay. You gonna want to pay because if you buy pizza for her and if you at her house, you just can't buy pizza for her only and these little critters out here just looking at the pizza, drooling. The proper way would be for the family. So that's more money you spending. Do you got the money like that? Do you want to invest like that? Is it the best thing to do like that? What do you think about that? See, we gotta use common sense, man. Investments. And then let's go into mentally ill women. You got a lot of mentally ill women in this day and time. Popping pills, snorting cocaine, I guess, allegedly. I mean, I'm just, in general, they on drugs. In general, they junkies. Walking junkies. Smoking heavy weed. weed smoking, pill popping, alcohol drinking, something. They're addicts. They're junkies. Functional junkies. Now I know a lot of people are not going to like that. Doesn't matter. I don't care. But you got them like that. Functional junkies. They think they cool. That's them. But it messes up their pH system. Do you want to deal with a female where her pH is off? There's science behind all of this. You have a physical encounter with her, the smell will be different. Her body will be different. Because she's been vaping for so long. She's been popping pills for so long. It changes her chemical balance in her body. She can produce more odors. You get what I'm saying? You want that? A stinky chick? Musty chick? Now there's exceptions to the rules. They pop pills, snort cocaine, and smoke weed, and they smelling great. But that percentage is low. I'ma say that on sight. But you do what you want, men. Hey, you do you. But then later down the road, you won't be happy with her physically. Because all of those dealing with a functional junkie, in my opinion, is going to just wear her out more body-wise. So you do you, men. You don't pay attention to these little things. Because this is why we don't know how to date. It goes down a deep rabbit hole. We men got to learn how to date better. Or stay home. Take your penis and go home. It's okay. You got to think like a corporation. Your body's supposed to mean everything to you. You're a temple. You got one body, one mind. Exercise that. Maximize that to the fullest. Just not waste it on whatever comes in front of you. Because guess what? You're going to have problems. And a lot of these females are sadistic. They're evil. They're psychotic. You deal with them and they stalking your home, stalking your job, calling you, just disrespecting you, saying things out of ordinary, all because you had that encounter and they feel you belong to them now. And then these females' ideologies, men, I hear females saying, I'm a witch. Goodbye. I'm a witch. Goodbye. That's really should be your reaction. Not just accepting it when she says she was a witch. You're like, oh man, that turned me on. Let me see what's good. What's good? What that energy, that negative, satanic energy on the left-hand side. My personal opinion with all of that. Yeah, when you hear these herbal tea females, incense smelling females, and they, snapping their fingers, and then talk about crystals all over the place, and they saying they witches. Goodbye. All of that. And definitely if they saying, I'm Lucifer in the flesh. Goodbye. Goodbye. Yeah, I seen that on TV. Actually, a lady told a guy she was what's your name? She said Satan. He said he got in his car and said goodbye. These females is wild, and they don't believe in a spiritual being. So you wonder why. You wonder why you going through problems. And this is just a dating meet and greet. Imagine if you married them. The load and loads of problems you're going to have. But in the dating scene, when you're just boyfriend, girlfriend, you wonder why you're going through some, stress with the chick. Because look who you picking. Lucifer. Witches and more witches. And itches. I'm not cursing. Itches and witches. And you wonder, and then you marry them, and then you go through divorce, and your children separate from you, and you can't talk to them no more. Their children don't respect you, and men starts who you pick. You eliminate 80-90% of the problem if you just start screening these females and just walk away and focus on building yourself as a better man, saving up more money. And I'm gonna stand on this. I was iffy about this a long time ago, but men, you just need to travel to enjoy life. Get your money up and be a passport bro or whatever. Just, you're in survival mode. The world is your oyster, the region, the state, or the city, or the town, or whatever. You just don't focus on one little area. You expand to find better quality. Expand. Because clearly in your area is not making it. Again, I'm not no dating coach and dating advice, and I'm just giving you a perspective of what I have gone through, because I've gone through a lot. And I'm just saying these things so you can avoid doing the degenerate stuff that I have done, and a lot of men in my age group, and find better quality and avoid all of that, so that way you can have a peaceful life. Because at the end of the day, your peace should be everything to you. People shouldn't be just saying whatever to you. And if you can't be respected as a man, because a lot of women don't respect men anyway, that's another thing. They don't respect the man principle. They think they're stronger than men. They think they're smarter than men. That's another thing. If you have a woman that have that ideology, she's not going to, which is 95%, they're not for you anyway. It's not going to work. It won't work. It won't work, man. Why I could tell you that your future is going to be doomed. I'm saying that. Why? Because in conversations as you with that woman, she be with other women, and it's always going to be jokes that he don't know nothing, he don't know this, he don't know that, I have to teach him. Us women, we smarter, we better, we even stronger. She going to throw those feministic ways while your back is turned or in front of you. So why would you want to even deal with that type of woman? I think she's already better than you in every aspect. So that's another layer of misery, men. I could keep going. There's many different things, but you got to pay attention to the little things, because the little things is going to shape your life. It's going to either give you the misery or you have peace. And if you have these type of women, if you meeting these women, dating them and making them your girlfriend, you're gonna have a long ride of misery. And again, like I mentioned, she's a bill. So you paying a bill that is disrespectful. You paying a bill that don't respect you. It's just what you could do for her. That's good. You're welcome. And, that's a lot of sarcasm I'm giving you. Now with the ladies, you don't know how to pick men. You just want to pick men that is tall, 6-pack, 6 figures, the 3 6s. That's what makes you evil right from the jump. He gotta be 6 foot, 6-pack, 6 figures. It's the 666. That right there puts you in the evil mode. You gotta think, ladies. You have to think. I know you want to go with what you see. You know, you're very just physical. But this is why you have problems, and you're going to have problems in life, because you're meeting a Raheem, Joey, or David, and you say they nice, they smile, and they cute, but they have no leadership skills. You ask them, you know, so what do you want to do? And that man's like, well, you know, I don't know. What you want to do, baby? I don't know. I do whatever you want to do. You know, you do what you want to. You know, you lead. What? That's a man not for you. You have no leadership skills. You got no backbone. Man gotta be a leader, ladies. If you meeting a guy and he can't conversate, the only thing he could just talk about is his YouTube channel. Or a YouTube channel seeing people flip on their head, just entertainment. That's not a man for you, ladies. Now, if he's subscribed to the Greatness 19 channel, now that's a winner. Mr. Evolution of London, that's a winner. The Oracle 19 podcast, that's a winner. If he's listened to those, that's a winner. But you just can't just deal with anybody, any man out here. This is why you have problems. You don't have no leadership skills. You need to ask right from the jump, ladies. You know, what's his purpose in life? And his purpose in life is just to get up in the morning and play PlayStation. That's not a man, ladies. It's a boy. A boy. A boy. That is a boy. A boy. A boy. Playing with his toys. That is a boy. Playing with his toys. That is a boy. Yes, a boy. Yes, he's a boy. Yes, a boy. Playing with his toys. He's just a boy. Playing with his toys. Yes, a boy. 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 Yes, boy. Yes, boy. Yes. Yes. You can't vibe with that. There's nobody you can vibe to like that. You need somebody with a higher intellect. You know, you want to find somebody that knows how to read. And wants to read. Now I know that's tricky because in the younger generation, nobody reads the books these days, other than maybe their college books. So I'm going to give you a break on that. Even though I shouldn't, but I'm going to give you a break on that, ladies. At least what is he watching? Is he watching programs that expand his mind? Because guess what? It's going to have a lot to do with the outcome of your intellect of your children, because he's going to have part of that DNA in the child, just as much as your 1/3 of DNA will be in that child. But if you just getting a guy that just, he got no conversational skills, and don't even date him. Just because he's cute or he's built nice, don't even date him. Because what's going to happen is you don't want to waste your energy, ladies. it's going to be a toxic situation. Find out about his family, how close he is with his family. Now, in this day and time, there's a lot of fractured family members. That's just what it is. We just living in the world today as fractured relationships between a lot of our family members. We're not as close. That's just a society thing. You'll find that in a lot of different families. But just find out the quality of man that he is. Is he family oriented? Is he goal oriented? And I believe, and I stand on, he gotta believe in a supreme being. That's the standard. You gotta have some type of godly spirit in you. That gives structure, in my personal opinion. This is what a man needs you need to find a man like that. What you would say, a God-fearing man. Renaissance man, preferably a seasoned man, and that might be hard because he's young. Y'all young. Realistically, this is my personal opinion. If you're 20 years old, let's say 21. Let's just say 21. You're 21 years old. Your range for meeting a man shouldn't be 18, 19. It's that no. Your range should be like find a man in his late 20s, early 30s. Because he's more seasoned, he's more intellectual. You find someone your age, he just want to be a jackrabbit. He just want to just jump in every hole that he sees. And he's not going to be financially stable of what you're looking for. You want a man that's more stable-minded in many different ways. So if you're 21 years old, your range is late 20s, early 30s. It could be as all the way to 35. But you're going to say, he's too old. Blah, 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 blah. But I'm just saying, realistically. But you might not want to accept that, but the percentages, it would be better for you to find a man that is more stable in different ways. If you're 30 years old, you don't want to go backwards. You got to have a man in his early 20s or teens and all that. You just want someone to roll in the hay with. But you need somebody stable-minded because you're maturing. You're 30 years old, so preferably you should find a man in his late 30s, early 40s. Realistically, if you're 30, it should be, even my personal opinion, even up to 45. Man in his 40s, late 30s, 40s, he been there and done that, and he's approaching the age, if he's in his late 30s, he's approaching the age of being an elder in different religions, because at the age of 40, you consider elder. And a lot of men that is like 40, normally will be, they're not out here in the streets like that. They shaping their lives, creating legacies for themselves. I'm talking about the stable-minded men. So that would be your range. That's realistic. You're 30, man in the late 30s, mid 40s, that's your range. You might not want to hear that, but that's your range. And if you're a woman that is 40, you don't really, a lot of women say, well, I can't have an older man and stuff. I understand that, because a lot of men is just, they just deplete their bodies. But I'm just talking about in the natural flow of life, person. If you 40, you shouldn't be a guy that's younger than you, 35 or 20. You want to have your groove back. Basically that's just a physical thing, not a. That relationship bound to fail because he's a younger man. and you looking at him like a boy versus a man. And the only thing, let's be realistic, ladies, you 40 years old and you get a younger man, you just want someone to roll in the hay with, that's all. And if that is what you all want, then just understand, most likely the percentages is going to be an end date with that. And if you just fine with that, you stink. But anyway, but you know, that's you. But you just have to understand. But again, you wasting yourself because it's just going to be a physical gratification, nothing more. Now, if you want that, that's on you. But just know what it is. But I think, ladies, this is why there's a lot of imbalance in dating, because we just doing things on just our physical gratification, more on instead of a spiritual level. This is why we as people, and I'm now going to get into we as people, our intellect has dropped because we just so much physical instead of spiritual. Now, I know most of you ladies don't care about that. You know, you just want to get your groove. You just want to have fun. But that takes a toll on your mind, dealing with things that really you shouldn't be dealing with. Now, if you're 40 years old and you're dealing with younger men, that's not really the natural order of life. You could do whatever you want to do, certainly, but that's not really the natural order of life. You 40 years old, the natural order of life for you should be a man in his late 40s, early 50s. But I do understand a lot of the men out here is basically old and rusty and depleted, you know, in their 40s because they abuse their bodies and so forth, so on in their younger days. I get it, I understand, got it. But I'm speaking the natural order of life should be, if you 40, guys in their late 40s, early 50s, 55, you know, that should be, okay? Should be. Now, if you already 50, really, you should, you know, something was wrong. There's exception to the rules, but if you're talking about you 50 years old, lady, and you're talking about you in the dating world at 50, that's not really a good look. Like, men 50s is different from women 50s. Now, yes, you women that take care of yourself, you got women that look great in their 50s. There's no question about it. There's exception to the rules. I got it. I understand. But the natural flow of life, let's just say the natural flow of life is you should be with someone, but I do understand, especially in this day and time, things happen. But if you 50, realistically, okay, should be in the late 50s, early 60s, basically, you know, a 65-year-old, you know, it's that range. But I get it, ladies. But these men, you know, they in their late 50s and 60s, they done. So that's why I say dating. But in the natural flow of life, that's really the range. That's a healthier relationship, providing many factors. I get it. You know, so. And if you're 60, you're making this difficult for me, lady. Because you're 60. Guys, here's the reality. When you start touching 40, you gotta be a heck of a type of female, because guys is not, of any age, is not really shooting for like a 45-year-old like that. It depends. If the guy is like 70, 80 years old, you're a great look for him. 70, 80 years old, and you 45, 50, you're a great look for him. That's a great look. He came up. He's on Bengay and medication. and you on Bengay, not medication, but you on Bengay, your right knee hurt, both of his knees hurt at 70, 80, and back. So he just need a massage from you Monday through Friday, and a little happy ending maybe once every 2 weeks. I'm talking about if he's 70, 80. You might want more, of course, but then, yeah, you're getting the short end of the stick, yeah, but you wouldn't want that gratification every day anyway, but, at least something, right? But, I could say more, but to get graphic, but yeah, you're going to have to handle yourself for the most part, but he got the paper, right? And, y'all, great conversation, right? It's hard to gauge that when you're older, for ladies finding somebody, because once you approach 40 plus, and definitely 50 plus, it's just hard because guys 50 years old is not really looking at you, and 40 is not really looking at you. It makes it harder. I get it. The dating pool is really hard. So what you can do, ladies, to bridge that gap. So as we get older, we have to learn to bridge the gap. And how? You got some elderly women. Sorry if I mean 40 elderly, but I mean you officially are elder at 40 in different religions. So that's why I use the word elderly. Not a lot, but quite a few elderly women that I've seen on YouTube and stuff, and they work out and they're in very good shape. Their bodies is like, looking like their 30s and stuff. That is something that you have to do to bridge the gap to find the quality man, per se. Is you have to really, as you get older, it gets harder because I know you have a lot of responsibilities, a lot of things going on you got to take care of, and I get it, I got it, ladies. I'm still on the ladies right here. I'm still talking about them. No bash, I'm not bashing you. As you can hear, I'm just speaking of just certain realities. You have to take care of yourself more. That means you have to be in better shape. Be more intellectual. Because you're older, so you have to work harder to be the better version of yourself in order to find a better quality man. And then you have to look at the region where you at too, so forth. It's harder when you get older. Yes, I get it. Is it impossible? It's not impossible, but it is improbable. Find the quality you're looking for because you older yourself. And ladies, here's a reality, is different from you being a older man versus an older woman. A older man anywhere on the planet Earth, he can, at 50 years old, he can always find ladies that's in their 20s, 30s that will genuinely like them, because you got a lot of you got a lot of women that have these daddy issues and they want an older man. I'm just keeping it real, and scattered throughout, and then throughout the world, it's common where you have an older man and a younger woman. When you look at in the United States, because a lot of things in the United States and Canada and European nations indoctrinated this philosophy in women, like it's disgusting to have a man 50 years old with a younger woman. Or you got throughout the world, you got women out here that love it. Believe me, they love it. An older man. And you see it outside of the European nations. But you don't have the reversal like that, an older woman throughout the world and a younger guy. Especially, younger guy wants children. She can't produce children. it really just her advantage. She just getting her groove back. But it's not really much she's getting out of it. She's an older woman. She's set in her ways. She's not flexible. So you're going to still be like her little boy in the relationship, regardless of what she say. So, ladies, you got to know the dynamics of your situation. That's how I look at it, my perspective. I could go on and on, of course, but this is why we don't know how to pick quality people anymore. We don't step back and look at ourselves, look at what we need to do to be a better version of ourselves, know what we should accept and not accept. And we have to know the cold, hard reality of this society that we live in. And this is why we don't pick quality women and men, and this is why things don't work out, and it's just a lot of tension going on, and we become less spiritual and more physical. And when you become more physical and less spiritual, you're going to lose every time. Thank you for listening.